Cash trying to change that though. Again, the tying and winning run on base. 1-2. He struck him out. The throw is in. They've done it. The Atlanta Crackers have done it. Number 5 is theirs, and the Atlanta Crackers are your 2025 Sunbelt League champions.
Rise and shine, everybody. It is the official debut of the Sunbelt League podcast. This is Around the Belt. I'm Owen Hillman, the broadcaster of the Atlanta Crackers, alongside my co-host Daniel Sommerfeld, the broadcaster for the Atlanta Astros. Daniel, how excited are you to officially return back to Sunbelt League baseball?
I'm really excited to get back to it. Thanks, Owen. This season should be incredible. We have a lot of great content lined up for you guys, and the players are ready to provide as well. We're looking at the Crackers, we're looking at the Astros, all of these teams with high level talent, and I can't wait to get going this weekend.
Indeed. Last season, the Crackers had a pretty storybook season. They won the Sunbelt League championship, and for the fans that are paying attention, like they really fought tooth and nail for that championship last season. They had I want to say that they had an extra innings walk off for their last game of the regular season. Tyler Jackson had a bases clearing double at the bottom of the eighth, and they won the championship on a strike him out, throw him out at third base. Overall, that's their fifth in Sunbelt League history. We'll be interviewing Kevin Meisikel, the general manager of the team, later on this pod. But overall, just wanted to talk about this squad. They have a lot of returning members such as Colby Cather, Jack Taylor, Connor Hilton, and Tyler Jackson. I believe Hilton, Jackson, and Cather were all all-stars of the team. And they bring in some really intriguing players, especially somebody like Caleb Farr and Jaden Nunez, who's the brother of Washington Nationals infielder Nasim Nunez. I just learned this from my school, by the way, in the interview. They also got Gavin Zoller back, maybe as a closer. Brody Bavega, Colin Real, and Benjamin Appleby were big relievers. I've heard from my school Real will be more used as a starter. Dylan Holbrook and Jordan Olno are also back. Um, Daniel, just want to ask, what are the keys to this team going back to back, you think?
I think you mentioned a lot of them right there. I think Gavin Solar is going to be a huge piece to this team. I could see him coming in the eighth and ninth innings in big games. He has the experience, and he was a key piece for them last year. And despite a little bit of an off season in college, he's going to come back, and I'm sure he's going to want to get better, work on some of his pitches that may not have been going as well. So he's going to be a key piece to this team. It's interesting that you mentioned Colin Real is going to be a starter for this team. I'm really high on him this season. I think he could be another key piece. If he's pitching well and the Crackers go ahead and face the Monsters or the Aviators or whoever ends up hot, he could be a huge piece to this team's success in big games. On the hitting side, I agree. Jaden Nunez, obviously, it's in the family. He's got the talent, so I can't wait to see what he showcases for us this year. Brody Baveja back to the pitching side, though, he's going to be another key piece if we see him and Colin Real in these little 2 game sets. If you didn't know, the Sunbelt League does 2 game sets on Mondays and Wednesdays. 2 teams will face each other, and then on Fridays and Saturdays, different teams will go at it. It's 2 game series, and there's 2 of them each year, home and away. It's going to be a lot of fun this year. You guys should tune in. Crackers baseball, as Owen mentioned, it's always exciting. A 14-1 finish to the season for Atlanta last year in their title campaign. So make sure to tune in to Owen's broadcasts of those games. They're going to be an exciting team this year, as we'll keep talking about later in the pod.
Indeed, indeed. I'm just very excited to see. I'm interested to see who replaces Caleb Huffman at first because he was such a big impact bat, especially in 2024. He won the Sunbelt League MVP. And in 2025, he took a little step back, but he was still a very, very positive contributor to the team. He had some very clutch hits. I'm excited to see what Braden Warren brings to this team as well, though. He's slated as the first baseman for the team. He had a 328 average last season with Enterprise State Community College as well. So I'm very interested to see this batting core, and I think that that's how they go back to back. But the Alfred Aviators could be one of the teams that stands in the way of that success for the Atlanta Crackers. The Aviators came very close to making their first championship last season. Unfortunately, they lost a close Sunbelt League semifinal series to the Cartersville Cannons, who seemingly came out of nowhere. the Aviators had an incredible hitting core last season. They had Sanford Holcomb, Will Mahoney, and Joseph Neville, and they're all returning too. They had the MVP from last season in Tristan Strickland. Unfortunately, he's not. But they got Connor Carlson from the Brookhaven Bucks as well, along with a couple of returners and pitching staff such as Biondo, Sam Choate, and Ellington Hodge. How do you feel like this lineup replaces the impact of a bat like Tristan Strickland, though?
Look, Tristan Strickland is a great player. He almost, I mean, he could have won MVP, and honestly, I think there's really no replacing him. But I think how they win games without him is their pitching depth. They have a multitude of pitchers on this team. As you mentioned, Biondo, Choate, and Hodge are huge. I think Biondo, we'll get to it later in the podcast, but I have a prediction about him that might shock some people. Halcom and Neville, though, they're going to need to be the leaders of this team. If they truly want to be a winning team, it's going to be Halcom and Neville that are going to be in the dugout in the locker room. They got to talk it up. They got to get these guys to care. They got to get these guys to get the bats going. And that's how the Aviators are going to win these games. I think you're going to see a lot of rallies within this team. Maybe they'll go 5 or 6 innings where the bats kind of struggle, maybe against a better pitcher. But then when you get to that relief, maybe you get the bats going. And later in this game, I think this team could be really, really exciting throughout the season. As I mentioned, Biondo, he is at Cleveland State right now, but originally committed to East Tennessee, which is a Division I school. But at Cleveland State this year, after his redshirt year, he had 16 appearances, and while his ERA was quite high, so was his K per nine as well, over 13 K per nine this year. And in Georgia Highlands, he went 3 innings, 6 Ks, just 2 hits allowed as well. So probably his best appearance that he's coming off of. But as you mentioned, Connor Carlson's coming from the Bucks. I commentated for the Bucks last year, and I didn't see too much of Carlson. Didn't come out that much, but I'm sure he'll get a lot more playing time on the Aviators. But when we did see Carlson come out for the Bucks last year, he did a lot. 4 for 5 in a huge game against Lake Oconee. The Bucks and Lake Oconee were right on the edge for that playoff spot, and Carlson balled out in that game. Can't wait to see what he brings to this Alpharetta squad.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Just seems like a great transition from going from Brookhaven to Alpharetta, where he could be a big impact batter of this team and could be the guy to somewhat mitigate that loss of Tristan Strickland on the team. Such a big batter for the squad. The Aviators just overall seem like a very well balanced squad, and I think they could be one of the teams in the race for the Sunbelt League championship. Maybe also the Bucks too. You mentioned about broadcasting the Brookhaven Bucks. They went on a rough 9 game losing streak, but they won 4 out of 5 to end the season, making the playoffs. They lost a close one to the Cartersville Cannons, but overall this team was very good at hitting the baseball and preventing teams from hitting the baseball. Unfortunately, that did translate to the scoreboard, but they did have Cameron Kenny come back to the team. He led the team in batting average and hits, and you get Andrew Bernard as well, and a lot of new players in the staff, but a lot of intriguing players in the staff as well. What new addition do you feel like will bring the most impact on the Brookhaven Bucks?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of returner, or not as many returners, but a lot of new faces that are going to be key. Looking at maybe people who are going to inspire them, I think Kenny and Bernard are your number 1 and 2 right there in the batting lineup. Bernard last year really started off slow, didn't look like he might get a lot of playing time, but then really turned up toward the end of the season, was a huge contact hitter, and really had a great time at the plate during that 4 to 5 game win streak at the end of the season. In the doubleheader against the Astros at the end of the season, he came up big multiple times. They are not returning Dominic Stevenson, the Georgia Tech catcher, but he was batting in front of him in the 2-3 hole, and he came up big every time. Stevenson's a power bat and was able to drive him in a lot. It really worked for the Bucks toward the end of the year. I think Silas Cunningham is going to be a big piece. He's a junior in the outfield for the Bucks. He's coming off a great season in college, got the speed, and I'm sure he's going to be a big piece in the lineup. But as you mentioned, this pitching staff is full of new guys, and that's going to be key. They lost Davis Bargeron, I believe, to the Aviators, and the
Yeah.
rest of that pitching staff left the Sunbelt League. So we're going to have to see what the Bucks pitching staff looks like. That's going to be a game by game thing, I'm sure, for Coach Corey Patterson, who likes to have these pitchers go shorter innings. But I'd love to hear what you think about the Bucks as well, Owen.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Casey Gleaton in particular because I saw him a little bit out of Wallace Dolphin community college, and this guy stands out not only because of his batting stance, which it's very his batting stance is very complex. It really speaks to like one of those older batting stances you see from like the 60s or 70s, but Gleason's a very big guy. Like I think he's about 6'5" and he weighs about 245, and Gleason could be a very powerful ball player. Yeah, 6'5", 275. He's got a very powerful swing, and when he makes contact with it, it almost always leaves the yard. He was very good when I saw him down at Tallahassee State when they were playing Wallace Community College at Dauphin. I'm also interested to see Cole Royer be part of this team. He's the headliner to me, was ranked as the number 91 right-handed pitcher, and eighth best right-handed pitcher out of Georgia by perfect game during his recruiting class. Drafted in the 20th round by the Yankees and was enrolled at Georgia Tech for a little while. 6'6", 195-pound right-hander. I think that he could be a very big impact starter, and I have a big prediction for him too, if that eventually comes to it. But Cole Royer is a guy that I'd definitely watch for the Brookhaven Bucks to lead that rotation. Hopefully, the batting core can shore up alongside Cameron Kenny and Andrew Bernard. I think Case and Gleam will be a big part of that. But on to the team that eliminated them in the wild card spot and eventually made it all the way to the Sunbelt League Championship, the Cartersville Cannons. Man, what a surprising run they had last season. They made it all the way to the 2025 Sunbelt League Championship in just their second year of existence. I was a rookie in 2024 when I broadcasted this team's first game. You know that? That's crazy. And then, unfortunately, they lost the Atlanta Crackers, but the Cannons were just so formidable the entire year, especially with their powerful lineup. Sebastian Collender, Aiden Larkin made some big plays. They had a guy from Ohio State play third base for them. And of course, Chasen Cash, probably one of the best names in the entirety of the Sunbelt League last year. Unfortunately, things came up short, but they did also get Davis Bargeron from the Brookhaven Bucks last season. But just overall, losing Chase and Cash is a big loss to the team. I'm curious what you think as the biggest power bats on the team because I have a guy. I'm just curious what you think.
I think these bats are going to be another formidable force throughout the league again this year. I think the Cannons, they made a run at the end of last year, and that's kind of why they heated up at the right time. And I think that's a story in a lot of baseball leagues. That's why they were able to get to the finals last year. And in that game versus the Bucks, I heard that it was really, really close, and the Bucks almost pulled off a shocker. The Cannons, of
Yeah.
course, as I mentioned, on a heater, but the Bucks almost upset them in the first round. That would have been crazy, but. The Cannons ended up making it to the final. I agree. These bats are a formidable force. I have not seen much out of this pitching staff. I know they have Daniel Parker, I believe, from East Carolina or Coastal Carolina, I believe. But a lot of this pitching is new, I believe. So I'd love to hear what you have seen from the Cannons, especially in that final series.
I'm interested to see. They don't have a ton of returners, but they have a couple. Alex Karst is a guy that really was a little more about raw potential than productivity last season. He's a giant. He's 6'7", weighs 235 pounds. But last season he had around like a 9 ERA with the team. But I think that this season will be dedicated to him working on his mechanics. And if he does, dude, watch out. He could be one of the Cy Young front runners on the team if they're able to work out in his pitching staff. Oz Eckerd, I saw him from 2024, I want to say, and he was one of the best. He was one of the best relief pitchers for the Cartersville Cannons in their first season. Unfortunately, the Cannons were not nearly as formidable as they were in 2025. They're really led by that batting staff, which has me going on to talk about Zach Terry. Stands at 6 foot, weighs 295 pounds. Hulking guy at first base. But this is who I think could be the Chase and Cash replacement. He had pretty decent numbers during his college play, but overall he had his former the Atlanta Crackers, I think could be very well improved upon. He had a .735 OPS with the Atlanta Crackers in 2024. And I think when they go up against the Crackers, I could definitely see Kevin Meisicle trying to see if he can get a poor day out of Terry, and maybe Terry kind of shows him up a bit. But I'm very interested to see how Zach Terry fits into this lineup. It's great having Aiden Larkin back in the lineup too, though, because he's been a constant bat for the team for the past 3 seasons now. Just glad to have
Yeah,
him
it's
back.
interesting to see. It's really interesting to see that he's returning, especially in a lineup that's going to be full of younger guys. There's only one guy born in 2005, and the rest are later in '06 and '07. So these are all freshmen and sophomores for the most part that are really trying to get their name out there. This is a team that's going to want to battle. This is a team where everybody really wants college coaches, college recruits, and scouters to be able to see their games, especially against a lot of these pitchers in the Sunbelt League this year, are no joke and really have a good repertoire, have had good college careers thus far. So a lot of these Cannons are really going to try and get their name out there. This is a team that's really dangerous. And even if they have a rough start, I wouldn't write them off until the end at all.
Indeed, indeed. The Sunbelt League is so entertaining in that the playoff race is so tight all the way up until the end. I remember the Atlanta Crackers they clinched a home playoff game against the Gainesville Gold Diggers due to an 11th inning walk-off against these Cannons. And the Brookhaven Bucks and the Brookhaven Bucks, I want to say, clinched a playoff game due to the Lake Oconee Wild Things, by the way. They lost 10 out of 11. They blew a 5-0 lead versus the Alpharetta Aviators to miss the playoffs. I just remember that day. That was crazy. That was a
Yeah.
really cool way to end the playoff race. But unfortunately, the Wild Things were on the losing end of it. They have a lot of continuity from last season, including Will Goff, who is their leading batter in average. He's back. So is pitchers like Landon Tate and Jordan Walden. They were also very good at hitting home runs last season, just like in 2024. Remember, this team had Cade Fuller and Caden Sheffield. Those two were among the league leaders in hitting home runs. Of course, it was obviously Caleb Huffman at the top, but both of those guys are very big bats for the team as well. But just for this season, after coming off of a season where you lose 10 of 11 and miss the playoffs, how do you think this team finds some footing and tries to get back there this next season?
I think you just got to forget about it. A lot of these guys, as you said, are new, and this is a team opposite of the Cannons, as I just said, that does have some older guys with some experience on the team. I think Harris Brackelder and Daniel Bell, Crispin Brock are going to be great additions to this team. They did lose Ian O'Connor, their catcher last year, who was a great defensive backstop. I actually got the opportunity to play with him in high school, and he was phenomenal behind the plate then. Got to see him, of course, in Brookhaven last year, and he was amazing there. So that's going to be a tough loss for them. Got to wonder how Landon Dykes does behind the plate this year. Of course, a younger guy, a rising freshman. We'll have to see how he does. It's going to be a key piece. A lot of these Sunbelt League teams like to use the stolen base and get around the base paths quickly. So I think that's going to be a key piece for them. As for their pitching, they don't have a lot of it, and that's going to be a problem. They're going to need to be able to get these arms to go long distances. I think that's going to be more of a coaching thing than anything, and maybe they can pick some players up throughout the season. But for now, this is a team to me that could make the playoffs. I don't know about much more. I'd love for them to prove me wrong. Of course, the Sun Belt League is all about that excitement, but I think this team needs some pitching. The experience in the lineup is there, and we'll have to see if the power's there.
Yeah, as you noted with the pitching, I see four guys on here that are considered position players and pitchers as well. That's Hayden Murphy, Rhett Adams, Brady Cunningham, and let me see, Jordan Taylor. Those are four guys that you might be relying upon as both powerful bats on the team and pitchers. So it'll be really interesting to see how that pitching shakes out for the Waleska Wild Things, but it'll be something that they'll need to shape. It'll be something they need to shape up. But as the other teams try fixing out their rosters, I believe that the Gainesville Gold Diggers and Chocolaco Monsters will also be in the hunt this season. I've never seen a Chocolaco Monsters team that isn't good. They won it in 2024 and they came very close to winning in 2025. If it weren't for, again, just the magic of the Atlanta Crackers last season. But overall, very interesting and exciting Sunbelt League this season. And I'm excited to say that I'll be interviewing the manager of the Atlanta Crackers, Kevin Meiskell, next up. Before we go on, I would just like to thank the sponsor of today's podcast at Rawlings Baseball. Rawlings Baseball has been a sponsor of the Sunbelt Baseball League for a long time. Rawlings Baseball, the mark of a pro. You can find Rawlings stuff all over Dick's Sporting Goods and in any baseball shop you can shop at. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Now let's go to the Kevin Meiskell interview. Hello, I'm Owen Hillman of the Around the Belt podcast. I'm here with Kevin Meisticle, the manager of the Atlanta Crackers, who just won championship number 5 of Sunbelt League history. I just want to discuss the history of the Atlanta Crackers. How did things start with rebirthing the legacy that they originally had, and how did you transition to the Sunbelt Baseball League?
Well, I mean, a little bit of a long story. I can kind of chop it up easily. When I got out of baseball, I played roughly 10 years, at 4 organizations. I decided to start something for college players, like this, and I had something in mind. And I was at a football game one day with Luke Appling, Hall of Famer, and he was a coach of mine when I was with the Atlanta Braves, and we were just talking, and he said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to start a program for, college guys," and at that time, guys that got released, they were out of pro ball. And he said, he just thought for a few minutes. He goes, "What are you going to name them?" And I said, "I haven't come up with a name yet." He said, "I'm working on sponsors right now." And he goes, "You ought to name them the Atlanta Crackers." And I knew a little bit about the Crackers, me not being from the South. I'm from the North originally. But I didn't realize how famous that this team was, this Cracker team. They'd won more championships than the New York Yankees once we looked up in the Historical Society. And he kept telling me, "I'm telling you, the PR you get from this will be, you wait and see." So I thought about it, and I thought, that's not a bad idea. So I went ahead and incorporated it, took the name, and basically we were bringing back the Atlanta Crackers. And for any baseball fans that don't know, they were here for decades and decades. They were the team of the South. People from all these states would come into Atlanta for these games. Well, when the Atlanta Braves came in '65, Crackers had to leave, and they went to Richmond and became the Richmond Braves. So all of a sudden, after all these years, I'm bringing back the Atlanta Crackers, less than 20 years later. He said, "It's going to go over big." And I swear to you, that first season, I had so many calls from television stations, newspapers in Seattle, Los Angeles, Chicago. It was like, "You got to be kidding me. And what is all this about? You're bringing back the Atlanta Crackers." And it just took off. And it worked so well that we springboarded right into it. We played in the National Baseball Congress, and we played in the Stan Musial. And then we played in the league here in Georgia, the Stan Musial League also. So we were playing in 3 leagues. And eventually we even, to my knowledge, from what I gather, we're the only team to be in all 4 World Series. Mm-hmm. We were in the NBC World Series in Kansas.
Yep.
We were in the Dizzy Dean Series in Cleveland.
Yep.
We were in the Stan Musial Series up in Battle Creek.
Yeah.
And we were in the series up in the NABF up in Louisville. We competed in all 4. We finished second in 3 of them and never did quite, win the whole thing. They're very competitive. Mm-hmm. But I kept going with this thing, and it came all the way through. Eventually, we did a lot of traveling. We traveled all over the country and played. I had a lot of sponsorship back then. Hollywood Productions were my main sponsor at the time. They, in that movie, I was in that movie, Slicker's Wife. Well, they actually gave me everything I needed to start this. And then we had Mickey Mantle helped us a great deal. He raised a lot of money at a charity event at the sporting club. And we retired his number. In fact, his picture's up there on the wall with me. You can see right there.
Oh, for sure.
He was in here,
cool.
And he came to the house and all. It was just fabulous. We had plenty of help, which you need. You need help along the way. So a lot of people have helped us. We came all the way up to 2008, and Marty Kelly said, "Hey, I want you to join this Sunbelt League I formed. I've got 4 teams in it. I want you to bring yourself, Douglasville. I want the Cab A's. I want these teams in it, Chattanooga." So I said, "Okay." He said, "We'll take care of everything." And we've been in it ever since 2009. So that's what, I don't know, 18 years or so we've been in this thing.
Yeah.
And it's been a nice ride. We've had a lot of fun playing in it. So that's where we're at the moment. And this is my 44th year.
Wow.
I was going to do it for a couple of years. It's turned into 44. So I don't know.
It's a lifestyle. That's crazy.
So that's basically, the format for what happened and how we've gotten to where we are.
Yeah, I mean, 5 championships later.
Well, actually, we've won 60 championships altogether. 5 in this league. I mean, we've been in the championship game 9 or 10 times, in this league out of 8, whatever, 17 years.
Yeah.
But that was our 60th title last year that we won. Steve Autry's been with me since 1988.
Wow.
Brad's been with me since 1999. We had Kelton was with us last year. Gil Navarro was with us for a while until he retired, but we've had a lot of fun.
Indeed. And speaking of the assistants, what are the biggest things each one of them bring onto the staff, especially Steve Autry?
Well, Autry's been my pitching coach. He pitched for me.
Wow.
I saw him pitch when he was in college. I wanted him as soon as I saw he was from Snellville, picked him up, and he's been with me ever since. So when he retired from pitching, he just took over as a pitching coach, and he does just a tremendous job with these kids. He really does. He takes it very serious, and he has helped so many of these young pitchers over the years. And they kind of have 2 pitching coaches between him and I, so we help a lot of kids get confidence in themselves and, turn the thing around. And we've done all right. Brad Etheridge played for me. He was an All-American at Lee University. He played 4 years for me. And then eventually, I guess about 16, 17 years ago, I said, Brad, you need to be my hitting coach. And if you'll see Brad, he looks like he can still play. He's 45, but he was a stud when he played for me, and still looks like he can play. He relates to the players good because he's a little bit younger than us, and they relate to a guy that's, in his middle 40s that looks like he can play. So he's done a real good job working with these infielders, these outfielders, because he played all over. He played third base for me. He played left field for me. And he works with both sets, outfield, infield, works with the hitters. And to be honest with you, he's part of the family, and he's done a real good job with all these guys. Kelton played for me 10 years ago and came back last year, wanted to get back in the game, and we started using him. And he'll be in and out a little bit this year. He's got a difficult job. He can't be there all the time, so we ended up picking up Collier Knox.
Yeah.
Collier's assistant coach over here at North Gwinnett. From what I've seen so far, Collier's young enough to really relate to these guys. He's only, late 20s or whatever, and he almost looks like a player yet. So I think these guys will respond to him real well. He was a catcher, and I like his attitude. I like his personality, and it's kind of good to have a little bit of youth in this thing, so. And then Gil's going to come back for a week and help us. We're in a little trouble with Brad having to go out of town for a week, and he's going to come back in, so you'll see Gil Navarro again. We were here last year with him, remember?
Yeah, just for a little bit.
He started the season off, won a doubleheader, coaching third base. So we're going to bring him back for about 4 or 5 games. So,
yeah.
And you got to have good assistant coaches. I don't care what anybody says. If you don't have the horses, you're not going to win.
For sure.
So.
Bringing in a good staff brings in a lot of continuity, and so does bringing in a lot of returning players.
And we get along well, and
sure.
Like you're saying, we do have a lot of guys coming back. God, I think it's about a dozen.
Yeah.
And some key players. Hilton was an all-star. He's back. Tyler Jackson's back. He was really the best catcher in the league last year.
Yeah,
he was an all-star.
Clutchest hitter I've ever seen.
Yep. Jack Taylor's coming back from Canada, and he had a heck of a season for us last year.
Yep.
We've got Zoller, who was the all-star pitcher. He's coming back. He's in Italy right now, and he's with the all-Italy team. He's trying out for this team, and he's going to be out there for probably at least another week and a half, and then he'll join us. But he had just a gargantuan season for us last year in relief.
For sure.
And it'd be good having him back. And Brody Bajava, he's coming back, was one of my 2 or 3 best starters all last year. So having him back is going to really help. And then Cullen Reel, who's actually still playing in the college series right now, the super regional or whatever it is. So when he's done, he'll be back, and I see he's had 23 appearances, I think, already, and I mean he's done real well. So it'll be good to have him back. And we got a couple other guys, Kobe Cather, who made 500 great plays for us last year. Kobe's coming back, and Ben Appleby, and I think the fans are going to recognize a lot of the guys coming back. We also have some good players too. This Gable kid from Lee University, he's the real deal, buddy. And so is Caleb Farr
Yeah.
from North Georgia.
He was a former Lynn Astro last year,
Oh,
too.
outstanding player,
really
man. And he'll be manning center field. You know, I mean, I'm going to put him out there and just let him ride. So
Yeah.
it'd be exciting to have him back. And we got some other decent young players. This Jay Nunes from Chat Valley.
Yeah.
His brother's starting for the Nationals right now in the
Wow.
big leagues. And
Crazy.
some people think he's going to be as good
Oh, man.
as his brother, because I've already had different organizations call me to see if he's going to be playing with us this summer. So I'll have him, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do. And he can also relieve. If
Wow.
we need a little bit of relief help, they tell me he's a closer.
Okay.
So I guess we'll find out, you know, once we get rolling. But it's good to have a guy that can play multiple positions. So that'll be it'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to that. And got a couple good young catchers. Nick Ford's back. Armstrong, you remember Armstrong? He's back
Yeah.
with us.
He tagged out like 5 runners in the last game of the season.
I'll tell you what, he was so hot at the plate, they couldn't get by this guy.
Right.
He caught everything he needed to catch. He was a clutch guy. And then we got a young kid by the name of Nathan Schaefer,
Yeah.
Flagler. He's a local boy, North Gwinnett. So he'll be doing a lot of catching. And got a couple other good kids. Hudson Spencer just played in the regional
Hudson Spencer,
with West
yeah.
Florida. He'll be helping with us this year, along with this kid Luke Mazer from Andrew College. I think we're going to be all right. We should have a decent team. So you still got to win the games. You know, you
Indeed.
can have all you want, but if you don't have the right chemistry, and we had it last year. You know, the key is you've got to have the right chemistry. Guys have to get along, and they have to buy into being a team player. So we'll see what happens, but going to give it our best.
For sure.
As
A lot of
always.
Continuity. Yeah, man. A lot of continuity in the batter's box, and overall just a lot of veteran leadership, it feels like.
Yeah, it's a combination.
Yeah.
You got young guys, but then you got guys who have played in this league a year or two, some of them
Yeah.
3 years. So that should help a lot. And obviously, the coaches are it's their job to get these guys motivated, you know, and get them playing the way they can play.
Right.
We usually bring out the best in guys. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what it's going to be like this year. I just hope the rain holds off. Right now, rain is our enemy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I really hope it holds off for the rematch of the championship series.
Wouldn't that be something?
You guys in Cartersville. That would be rough if it.
And we
rained
open
out,
up
for
with
sure.
them, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
normally, you know, you save games like that for later in the season when we played a while, but we also finish with them. But
Right.
no, I think, you know, Cartersville's going to be good. The Cannons will be good. The Gold Diggers will be good. The Bucks got guys coming back. I think they'll be fine, you know.
Yeah.
And you got Corey Patterson managing them. The Monsters over in Oxford. I haven't seen a monster team that isn't really good.
Right. They always seem like they're constantly competing.
They've got a monopoly on those players over there, you know, Alabama,
All
a
in
little bit of
Alabama, yeah.
Mississippi, the Florida Panhandle. So he comes up with a good team every year, and you got to go through the Monsters too. If you can't beat them, you're not going to win.
Right.
So,
And you guys had to do that last year in order to win. And Colby Cather made the game and catch, too.
oh, buddy, I still see that catch in my sleep.
Oh, man. That was electric. That was great.
It was a lot of fun. Kobe made so many plays that turned the game around
Yeah.
that only major leaguers make those plays.
Oh, my gosh.
And he just made one after another after another. Had a walk off. I
Yep.
mean, he did everything we could have asked him to do.
Yeah, and Tyler Jackson, too. He had the go-ahead double that cleared the bases.
Tyler, you need a home run, Tyler's going to give it to you. If you need a double,
Yeah.
Tyler's going to give you that. If you need a great play, and he made some great ones behind the dish, Tyler's going to give you that. So it'll be interesting seeing him. And I'm going to play him a little bit at first with Warren. You know, they're one of our new guys. They'll kind of share first a little bit. Tyler can DH. Main thing is I try and do my best to keep his bat in the game somehow, you know,
sure.
along with Jack Taylor. I mean, Jack had a heck of a season for us, so
He did.
if I can keep him in the lineup, you know, with Nunez and a couple other guys, I think we'll be all right. It's just pitching. We got to
Yeah.
hope the pitchers come, because a lot of question marks there. They're new.
Indeed.
I don't know really what we're getting there, but we'll find out pretty quickly.
Indeed. And speaking of that pitching, what do you feel like you prioritize the most in your pitching staff?
Pitching staff, you know, we almost treat these guys like they're all relievers,
Yeah.
because, you know, we do not make a starting pitcher, go more than 2 to 3 innings. That's all we need. We got to bring the other guys in. We try and pitch at least 5 guys a game,
Right.
if that's possible, and just keep getting guys in. So no pitcher is really sitting for a long time. Every week he knows he's going to pitch in some manner, and I think that helps these guys a lot. They don't have to sit there wondering, hey, we tell them Wednesday's your day, or you're pitching Friday, and we know that those 5 or 6 guys have to be there that day, and then we just run through it and use them all. So you keep using guys, and even if they're not up to par, you know, an appearance or 2, give them confidence. They know they're coming back in. They know you're not going to sit them all season. It helps. And a lot of these young guys who people are a little surprised about, it's not a surprise to us, because we give them a chance to show us what they can do. You don't get down on them. You try and build them up.
Indeed.
Rarely will I ever get on a player for anything, except if someone's not going to hustle, he's not going to be around us very long, because I'll be on him pretty quick.
Yeah.
We run to our position. We hustle all the time. And you got to think about what's best for your team. I mean, I know this baseball's changed a lot since I played, and I have a hard time with some of it, including the rules. Putting a man on second, you know, in an extra inning game, telling a guy just take the base instead of making the pitches, you know, you can intentionally put them on.
Right.
I'm not into a lot of this stuff, you know, the
Yeah.
bigger bases, all that. I like real baseball. But, you know, do our best. Same thing with the pitch count. And that's why we carry a lot of pitches, because we use the pitch count. We're pretty legal with it, where some teams will kind of slide by and try and, you know, not use the count the way it's supposed to be, you know, and then you get so many days rest or whatever. We try and abide by the rules, and we keep a graph on it. We keep stats on everything.
For sure.
So-
And Steve's great in that too.
Oh,
Steve
yeah.
is
He's
fantastic.
magnificent in it. He's got a counter. We have 2 counters. We count. We make sure we don't screw up, because we don't want anybody, you know, having to be penalized by it. But we keep charts on all this stuff. But I know. We'll see. Pitching's going to be young, but there's a good combination. And, hey, if you know you eventually have Zoller and Reel coming back,
Yeah.
we always start out slow. I just want to see guys play, and I don't get too panicky, you know. First 3 weeks or so, let me just see guys play. And then, you know, after about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you start knowing who can play and, you know, who's a little bit better at whatever. And having Zoller and Reel coming in, I mean, that'll help us a great deal. So we'll see. You know, and Oldno, you remember Oldno?
I do remember Oldno, yeah.
Jordan may come back here in July.
Yeah.
He's rehabbing starting this coming week. And he's thinking maybe within a month he can start pitching in games again. So you may see old Jordan Oldno the second half of the season. And he's a good pitcher. We had him
for
last
sure.
year. I liked him a lot. And hopefully we can use him again this year. So we'll see.
Yeah, tough pitcher at that. I heard he had like a wrestling background in the past.
Oh,
He's
he's a tough kid. He's like, remember, what's his name?
Davis Rossler.
Yes, they were both wrestlers. They come
Yeah.
in here and, you know, I think, God, if I was younger, I'd wrestle you guys. But they were tough kids. They were dudes.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I wish Rossler was back. But if we get Oldno back, you know, that'll be good enough. Brody's kind of like that too, in a way. You know, he just wants the ball. You know, just give me the
Right.
ball, just let me throw. And hell, I think he had like 9 or 10 starts, and really not a bad start the whole season.
No,
he
yeah.
did very well.
He was pretty good.
So we got Brode coming back, and I'll tell you who we've got too is Hunter and Harry Perkle, the brothers.
Yeah.
Hunter really is the best pitcher probably over there in Emmanuel. And getting him to start will help us a lot. And Harry, his other brother's up there in Rome over at Shorter. See what he's got. I think they're I want to say 34th set of brothers we've had play for us.
The 34th.
34.
Wow.
We keep a lot of these stats, and I was looking the other day, and it looks like they'll be number 34. We've had that many sets of brothers play for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember one from last season. That's crazy. I did not realize that.
Yeah. Oh, no. We've had a lot. In fact, we've had fathers and sons.
Yeah.
I've got about, I want to say maybe 7 or 8 sets of my dad. My dad played for you in the 80s.
Yeah.
Or the 90s, and now I'm playing for you. So that's kind of interesting, too. But we're keeping an all-time roster. And, I mean, we've had over 1,700 players.
Yeah.
And good God, I mean, right now we're working on, I'm going to say it's right at, I'll have to look, but it's a little over 2,000 games we played.
Wow.
It's a lot of games.
Yeah.
It's a lot of games.
Long history. And through that history, I hear about a mantra about growing young men when describing this team, when describing the Atlanta Crackers. What does that phrase mean to you in how you build this team and how you manage this team?
We do look at it differently than a lot of teams. We get these guys. I take an interest in them personally. I'm always trying to ask them, how about your grades? How are you doing? I talk to them throughout the year, not just during the baseball season in the summer. But I stay in touch with a lot of these guys. I'm always asking them, what about your grades? If you take your grades serious, you can take your baseball serious. And I like to know where they're coming from. And if they're not, then I'll get on them, almost like a father, and say, hey, you got to get your grades up. If you want to keep playing, I mean, you got to be smart to play. And we've helped a lot of young men look for another school, transition somewhere else. If this wasn't working out, I'm willing to always call some coaches and say, hey, this young man's looking to transfer, or this young man's going into the portal, or this young man wants to make a comeback. Are you interested? Do you need an arm, or do you need a good outfielder, whatever? But we like to help them with that. And a lot of other things. You'd be surprised. You get that many players, 1,700 players. That's a lot of players. I've had players come with me with all kind of problems. We're not just a baseball team. We take an interest in what's going on in their life. And we always tell them, always try and give them things I would want to tell any son of mine, and always try and instill confidence in them. And you try and keep their heads up. If they're not doing well, you can do well, but you got to stick with it. You got to put in a lot of work. And I always tell them the same thing. If you're not working hard, you're not going to be good.
Right.
There's only one way to be really good. You got to put in the hours, put in the days. You've got to be a really hard worker, and it pays off. And I've known enough people. A lot of times I'll give them examples. This young man played for me. He went all the way to the big leagues because he didn't give up. We've had a lot of guys play in the big leagues over the years. So, I mean, you just try and help them in their personal life and their baseball life. So it drifts a little bit either way. We're not interested in just picking them up for the summer and, hey, thanks for playing 30-something games. See ya. It's a little more than that. We've got a Hall of Fame that I think we're up to, I think it's 114 players now we've got in our Hall of Fame. And a lot of these kids come back, they call me, you'd be surprised. I've got guys that played from in the 80s that still call me. That I know what's going on. Steve stays in with them on Facebook, and we stay in touch with these kids because most of them tell us it was one of the best times they ever had was playing here. And they don't forget some of these seasons, especially the championship seasons, things like that. So it's kind of good to hear that from young men. And it kind of inspires us to keep doing it and keep involved with these kids because things have changed. I don't have to tell you, society's changed. If we can keep involved in sports, make sure their studies are good and they're going to make something of themselves. Hey, it may not be in baseball, but you would be surprised how many of my ex-players are now coaching. It goes into the hundreds that are coaching somewhere. Head coach, assistant coach, coaching in college. coaching in professional baseball. A lot of them have moved on. We've had hundreds of kids sign and get into professional baseball and then go into coaching. And a lot of it comes from what we've shown them here. Some college coaches don't show them what they really need. They don't love them enough. So, you try and get them here, and I try and be real fair with all of them. So sometimes if they need a kick in the butt, you give them that too.
Right.
But I try one thing. I try not to lie to them.
Yeah.
Too many people, too many scouts, too many agents, too many coaches lie to these kids. And I always try and tell them the truth. If I don't think they're making the grade, I'll tell them. How can you improve? I'll tell them that too. If I don't think they should, there's something that they're going to make a mistake on, I always tell them. If they want to know how they're doing with us, I'll tell them the truth. And if you need to improve on this is what you need to do. So, you try and stay up on that. And if you don't lie to them, trust me, they'll usually believe in you. And, you show them that, hey, either way, I'm either going to chew you out and tell you the truth, or I'm going to praise you. So either way, it's going to work, and I'm going to do what I can to be behind you. And that's what we're about. That's what Steve's about. That's what Brad's been about. Gil Navarro was great at it. And, it's what we try and do. So, but it makes fun, and it makes the season go right. You feel better about yourself. You can't always win the championship. So when you don't win it, you give it your best, and you feel good about that too. So we always manage somewhere to finish near the top. And those years we don't win, well, I'll tell you, I've lost some championships in crazy ways. You wouldn't believe some of the things that have happened. And I mean, even in those World Series, I've lost it on an overthrow to first base. I've lost it on a catcher overthrowing, trying to pick somebody off.
Wow.
Winning run scores.
Wow.
I've lost it on a pass ball at home plate in the 13th inning.
Yeah.
I've lost it all kind of ways. But you know what? You just turn around and you try and come back. And as long as they've had fun playing and they've gotten something out of it, okay, you look at it, it was a success.
Yeah.
You're not going to win. I don't care who you are. You don't win it every year. So
Yeah.
you have to have a success in other ways, and that's what we try and do. That's what we've been about, and I don't have too many years left because, I'm 74 now, and I mean, I can't throw BP anymore because I've got two new knees. I had the other knee done a second time. The Atlanta Braves surgeon did my knee, and he said, I'm not working on you ever again. If you throw BP, do not throw BP. So I don't. I have let the young guys do it, and I just kind of roll from the dugout like I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
And things change as you get older, and if you can't adapt, you're not going to make it. So it's been hard for me because I'm a physical guy and I like to do stuff. But if I can't do it, I can't run anymore. I can't throw BP. Can't really hit fungos like I used to, and I love doing it all. Well, then you look for it in other ways. You get people to do it for you, and you try and help in other ways. And that's, I guess, every old person, every old athlete learns that. It's hard. My daughters think I take it too hard, and I'm not good at getting old. And they're right. But in the end, I always try and adapt somehow and help in any way I can. So that's kind of where we're at. And you'll see this season, I'll be moving around, doing my best, seeing what I can do.
For sure.
Just keeping track of everything and keep talking to guys, keep showing them, making out the lineups, doing all that. So, that's where we are. So 44 years later, like I said, every year I take it 1 year at a time. I'm on a 1-year contract. So We'll see how many more years I can do it. At least I know I'm doing it this year. So we'll see.
Well, thank you so much for the interview. This was Kevin Meisticle of the Atlanta Crackers, longtime manager, and one of the biggest faces in the Sunbelt Baseball League.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for interviewing me.
You got it.
We're going to head back to the show.
Alrighty, now we're back on the show. We've got all the teams wrapped up. It's time to bring out some predictions. So, let's start off with the Sunbelt League MVP. I'm going to go with my choice with a very experienced batter in the team. It's Tyler Jackson. Tyler Jackson was essentially the Terminator for the team last season, essentially hitting clutch hit after clutch hit. Just had so many home runs in the team, and I think he's in store for a monster season this year. He was the all-star catcher for the Atlanta Crackers last season, and I think that he could really improve his game. Daniel, I'm curious to see what your pick is.
I'm going to go with Caleb Farr, the rising redshirt sophomore at the University of North Georgia. Played at Mountain View High School out in Gwinnett, and Gavin Collier actually went there. A little MLB connection for you. He just made his debut last month and is top 30 in the Ranger system. He's got that experience from high school, but in 2026 at UNG had 313 batting average in 45 games, over 50 hits and a couple home runs to go along with it. He's a guy who's really exciting, electric on the base paths, great on defense as well. Not going to make many errors for you out there, and a great piece for the Crackers to add this season. On to the Cy Young. Owen, I'd love to hear what you think.
My Cy Young pick is going to be Cole Royer as well. Very powerful pitcher. I believe he had a 91 mile per hour fastball once. Perfect game. Checked him out, but I think it could be a lot more powerful coming into this season. Again, another former D1 starter at Georgia Tech. I think Cole Royer could be a very big arm for the Brookhaven Bucks. What about you?
I'm going with a surprise here. I'm going to take Colin Real out of the
Mm.
University of Milwaukee in Division One. He's from Missouri, not really familiar with the Southeast, but he's trying out a new thing in that, and he's trying out a new thing in starting. He was a relief pitcher all season long, 22 games with a 2-0 record, a 5.4 ERA in 21 innings, not as bad as you'd think, especially for the JUCO divisions. But he's playing with some of his high school buddies like Sean Crawford and Druid Hills High School. He's coming off of a great year as well in his gap year. But Colin Real, watch out. This guy really wants to be a starter. You can already tell he's trying to make the transition. We'll see how he does. But if I had to give you another one, a sneaky pick here on Alpharetta is Biondo. He redshirted at East Tennessee, as I mentioned earlier, the Cleveland State product. Watch out for him. On to our champions, though. Owen, I have a feeling who you're going to pick to go back to,
I'm already wearing the
but
shirt too.
I would love to hear why you think the Crackers are going to go back to back.
Yeah, I think the Crackers are going to go back to back just because they have the continuity that a lot of other teams are trying to get back. The Crackers just have so many positive contributors from last season. They don't have Caleb Huffman anymore, and they don't have a couple of their starting pitchers like Jacob Autry. I mean, outside of that, you get back Colby Cather, you get back Connor Hilton, who led the league in stolen bases last season. You get back Tyler Jackson, very powerful batter on the team. You get back Gavin Zoller, who won the reliever of the year and the playoffs MVP as well. And he's coming back from Italy too. I'm curious to see what he's learned down there and about how he commands himself on the mound. I'm very curious about that. But the Crackers just have a lot of continuity, and under Kevin Meisicle and under this very experienced staff, I don't see a world in where the Crackers aren't the ones hoisting the Sunbelt League trophy at the end of the season. What about you?
Well, I think you said it. Kevin Meisicle is going to be a big piece of this team, and I am also going to pick the Atlanta Crackers to go back to back this season. I think there's so many storylines you could pick. I'm just going to pick one, but seven of them go to the same high school, or they did over the past couple of years. I mean, this team knows each other. This team can't wait to play with each other. They have great coaching. They have championship level experience. I mean, how Hudson Spencer played with Taylor Markakis, who's Nick Markakis' son. I mean, you
Wow.
can't really make a lot of this stuff up, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is going to be a really fun season for the Atlanta Crackers and their fans. It's going to be great for you to broadcast it. I can't wait for them to make the trip to Georgia State to play the Astros. I would really be on the lookout for a lot of these guys. And I think the best part about it is that Kevin Meisicle is going to rotate this team a lot because they have so much depth. You're going to get to see so many different pieces throughout the season, and that's going to keep a lot of them healthy. It's going to keep a lot of them energetic. Not going to see a lot of fatigue on this team at all, especially going into the playoffs. And as we mentioned, a lot of these teams, their rosters aren't even done yet. They lack the pitching depth. The Crackers don't. This is why they're going to lift the trophy at the end of the season. My pick to win it all is the Atlanta Crackers.
Indeed, but there's definitely teams like the Monsters, the Gold Diggers, and even the Alpharetta Aviators, the Cannons I can see being in the mix for it too. It's going to be a very contentious 2026 Sunbelt League title. I do hope it is the Crackers at the end, even though although I did predict it as well. But that's our show. That's our first ever show of the Around the Belt podcast. I'm Owen Hillman alongside Daniel Sommerfeld, and you're watching the Sunbelt Baseball League.